As you know, we are focusing this half hour on the end of Minnesota's regular legislative session. While a budget deal has been reached, there are still plenty of details left to be ironed out before there is a final budget bill that is going to be voted on. There is going to be a special session in mid-June. Our political analyst, Blois Olson with Fluence Media, joining me now, and there are still a lot of questions out there. The governor says he is convinced that this budget deal that's on the table is not going to fall through, but with details not yet hammered out, what gives him that kind of assurance?
Largely these deals have held up, and the process now on the budget part of the negotiation is it goes to the conference committees and they work it out. Some conference committees feel like they're already making progress. I know the Agriculture Conference Committee report is, I think, almost final, if not final by now. So there are parts of the budget that will get worked out. I don't know that they'll get passed yet tonight, but really the math was the big question for the session. But the biggest issue that creates the divide is the policy. And that's where if the math and the policy begin to get intertwined, then you could have this deal fall apart, whether it's on clean cars or police reform.
Okay, and I was going to ask you, give me an example of what you mean by that, where the numbers and the policy do not line up. We know that when it comes to police reform, that is one of, should we call it one of the holiest bills that's out there? And I don't mean holy as in religious holy. I mean holes are still in it. There's still so much yet on police reform that needs to be worked out.
There is, and it's not that it needs to be worked out. You have two bodies, one that has very clear views on what they want, and another that hadn't had any hearings. And so you don't even know where their positions are. They haven't made progress. And so it's up to those conference committee chairs, one from the House and one for the Senate, to try to work out those differences in a conference committee. And we know, like many compromises, neither side's going to be completely happy. The question is, does that hold up the judiciary bill? Or on clean cars, the Senate wants a delay in implementing California emissions standards. The House and the governor want it to happen sooner rather than later. Does that hold up funding for our state parks and other environmental programs? That's where the policy could mess up the budget part. And, we still have a couple weeks for these chairs to work these deals out, but those are going to be contentious meetings.
The PPP loans, uninsurance benefits, I know that some agreements have been reached there, and it seems like the chambers are happy with the fact that they've at least made sure that Minnesota businesses, that it's tax-free for these businesses. And so that's good news.
It is. That was a very clear compromise. But I don't know how much of a compromise it was when we have a budget surplus, both from the feds and in our own budget. I think those were just negotiating pieces that both sides needed to hammer out and maybe do some trading on it. You look at the federal dollars that have come in, the governor gets to spend $500 million as he sees fit. The rest will be up for legislative approval.
Let me back up just a little bit, Blois. Plenty of people make their opinions heard on social media. Plenty of people today are saying the fact that we don't have a clear-cut view of police reform in this state, yet we know where the House stands on recreational marijuana that isn't even going to get passed, and police reform is something that so many people say is a huge priority. You can hear the frustrations and why the House made that such a big deal when we have pressing issues.
Well, look, the House did hold hearings on police reform and recreational marijuana. So,
but was time wasted? Is what I guess where I'm going.
Well, I think you can look at this process and say absolutely time was wasted. Speaker Hortman is hinting that they need more time in the Constitution, that maybe we need a full-time legislature. She, talked about that possible reforms needed in the whole legislative process. I think that, like everything political on a divided state, people are going to be frustrated. There's going to be wasted time. There's going to be wasted energy. There's going to be wasted argument. The interesting thing here is that they've chosen a path, unlike prior governors and prior legislators, where they're coming to an agreement and they're working out the details. there's not a lot of brinksmanship amongst these three leaders. And I think that is notable in 2021 because it shows that there was this willingness to go forward rather than, kind of draw a line in the sand and say, then just shut down the state. And I think those were the two paths that could have been taken. Now, it's not all done, but we certainly know that there's a willingness to not have a state government shutdown, which would impact so many other people.
So that is one thing to celebrate, and we are hearing celebratory tones all around from lawmakers. So is that appropriate?
Well, I mean, if I was a lawmaker, and I don't know that the ones who are happy may be celebrating, but there's probably more that are frustrated. The question is, are they frustrated in 2 weeks? Are they frustrated after the fact, and does anything happen about it? We won't know, because really the work in front of them is to get this budget done, try to figure out these policy bills, and do it now. Their first deadline to get all their spreadsheets in is the Friday before Memorial Day. So we'll have a good sense going into that weekend if this deal sticks together.
And I hope you and I can have a good conversation on it. Blois, as always, I appreciate it. Thank you.